the senator from Arizona.
Mr. President, as I did last week, and as I'll continue to do until he is confirmed, I rise to support the nomination of Judge Neil Gorsuch to serve on the Supreme Court. Judge Gorsuch is an accomplished, mainstream jurist. I look forward to helping make sure he receives an up or down vote here on the Senate floor. Now, after meeting with Judge Gorsuch and learning more about his judicial philosophy, I continue to be impressed by his humble respect for the law and by his commitment to service. And before the Judiciary Committee begins our hearings, I want to highlight aspects of his jurisprudence that qualify him to serve on our nation's highest court and that make him an ideal candidate to fill such a consequential position. Now, earlier this month, I spoke about his fitness to fill Justice Scalia's seat, as well as his respect for the separation of powers. Today, I'd like to focus on his approach to religious freedom. I've always supported religious freedom as a universal principle. It doesn't matter if we're defending our own First Amendment right to free exercise of religion here at home or standing up for the religious freedom of people under repressive regimes abroad. Our country has always valued the right of individuals to practice their faith as they please. Just as religious freedom is part of our national character, it also provides insight into the character and judicial philosophy of a prospective justice. Now, when I had the privilege of meeting with Judge Gorsuch last week, I asked him about his thoughts on religious freedom. I was struck by his ability to plainly articulate his understanding of the law and the Constitution. He explained his religious freedom, his religious liberty opinions by explaining that he simply went where the law led him. His explanation was indicative of his fundamental approach to interpreting the law. Judge Gorsuch doesn't make the law, he follows the law. He reads the Constitution as the framers understood it. He interprets laws the way they were written. Now, lately, our colleagues on the other side of the aisle have been vocal about the importance of respecting our independent judiciary. I couldn't agree more. They have decried the perils of discriminating on the basis of religious belief. Well, they're in luck. The Supreme Court nominee before us would be a staunch defender of independent courts and religious freedom. All they have to do is help us confirm him. I don't blame them for wanting to do their homework on a Supreme Court nominee. They should, as should we all. They'll find that after studying Judge Gorsuch's record, it will make for enjoyable reading. Now, on the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, Judge Gorsuch has authored a number of judicial opinions respecting the fundamental principles of religious liberty. His most notable was a concurring opinion in the Hobby Lobby case. In this landmark legal case interpreting the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, Judge Gorsuch ruled that the federal government cannot force individuals to assist in conduct that violates their deeply held religious convictions. I want to note that this law used to be non-controversial. The Religious Freedom Restoration Act was introduced by Senators Ted Kennedy and then Congressman Chuck Schumer. It was passed almost unanimously in 1993 and signed into law by President Bill Clinton. In his concurrence, Judge Gorsuch wrote, quote, "The Religious Freedom Restoration Act doesn't just apply to protect popular religious beliefs, it perhaps is its most important work in protecting unpopular religious beliefs, vindicating this nation's long-held aspiration to serve as a refuge of religious tolerance," unquote. A religious tolerance, that's what our country stands for, and that's what Judge Gorsuch stands for. Judge Gorsuch's position was later vindicated by the Supreme Court. The court agreed that it is the government's job to protect an individual's ability to practice their religion, not to instruct them on how to practice their religion. In closing, let me reiterate that I believe that Judge Gorsuch is a mainstream jurist who will uphold the Constitution to ensure justice for all, regardless of an individual's religious beliefs or which administration is in power. As someone who embraces religious freedom, it is a privilege to support and confirm a judge like Neil Gorsuch, who respects this central constitutional principle. As I've said before, and I will say again, Judge Gorsuch deserves fair consideration by those who serve in this body, and he deserves an up or down vote here on the Senate floor. He should be confirmed overwhelmingly, and I am confident that he will be. I yield back the balance of my time.